Greetings to all my friends. For a long time I have been meaning to share with you a few brief thoughts on the question of the current debates on science and religion going on in the Western world. As though the two are diametrically opposed. Whereas science, earlier known as natural philosophy, developed out of some philosophers seeking answers to the question, how did God create the universe? How did this universe come to be in God? The scientists like Sir Isaac Newton use the word natural philosophy. Einstein said he was looking for answers to the question of, again, how does God run this universe? I was born in the tradition of the Vedas and the Upanishads and studied as a child all the ancient works on science in Sanskrit language, on all the different sciences that were revealed to the ancient rishis. And never ever did I find anywhere a debate between the question of creation and God, natural phenomena and God, because all natural phenomena were seen as happening in God. My own interest in science, and although I'm not a scientist, my own interest in science developed out of those texts. I read the ancient works on astronomy and then discovered the modern works on astronomy. And in my imagination, in my contemplation, were triggered these visions of vast spaces in God. And my interest in astronomy remains for that reason. In looking at the books and articles on subatomic structures, the same thing, exactly the same thing, more minute than the minutest is He, which is said in the same breath by the Upanishads, in which they say, more vast than the vastest. So nothing in science, whether at subatomic level or at quantum level or at the level of astronomical spaces, nothing surprises me, because all of this, more minute than the minutest, more expansive than the most expansive happens in divinity. We have the ancient legends of spaceships in the Sanskrit texts. So when last week the Indian scientists shot the Chandrayana, the moon vehicle, to orbit around the moon, they began by quoting the recitation, the mantra from Rig Veda, "O moon deity, may we know thy secrets." One very well-known contemporary writer, Tunku Varadarajan, has written in New York Times of 29th of October an article explaining the attitude of the Indian scientists and the average people to this event of sending out a rocket to orbit around the moon. We here in India, as I'm sitting here in India right now, do not differentiate between that quest and the quest with which the same science